check. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are we on?
Yeah.
All right, guys, what's going on? Big Matt Diamond Dean is back in the house, Dean.
What up? How you doing, man?
It's good to be back, ain't it?
Yeah, good to be back. Good to be back.
Like
Took a week off.
Seems like we've missed for a while.
We missed, but we took 3 weeks off this summer.
Yeah. Everything's been going good as usual.
Rain slapped up some. Now it's getting hot out. It didn't rain today, though. It looked like it was going to.
It poured over here.
Oh, did it pour over here?
It rained over here pretty good for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes.
And it came up. I mean, it was very dark, but I don't know if it ever did anything or not. So we missed everybody, though, huh?
Yeah, I know. It's we got to go out to the camp yesterday over at Piedmont.
Camp. Hot.
Mo, it was hot.
Yeah, just a little hot.
I got a little bit of sun on my top of my shins right above the old sock area.
Mm-hmm. We'll take us a canopy next time.
Man, yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
There was no shade over there. We found a gazebo out in the distance, and one of the parents over there, Todd, we know.
Yeah.
Todd knows. We was like, we're gonna go over there and hijack that gazebo, but
we couldn't see nothing from there. No. We wanted to move them. Did you say move them to that other practice?
Yeah,
field?
we thought we'd go over there and see if the refs would let us. Can y'all move the game over to the other practice field?
Yeah, just where we could be cool.
Yeah, because I mean, as soon as they would have known who he was, it were Matt and Todd Shaw.
I think they would have done it.
Matt and Todd Shaw. Yeah, time out, guys. We're moving the game over here. We're going to the other field.
I would have done it. I mean, all we had to do was say the word. We saw some interesting stuff yesterday. There was some people into it with the refs a little bit, wasn't it? A little bit. It was fun.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And it wasn't real serious.
No.
But there was a little, we got a little heated there at one time.
Yeah. Well, they're coaching and the kids are kind of, getting back in that swing of playing ball. And today, of course, we're going to talk about what we witnessed yesterday. I got some of the finishing records for the day for our teams. SEC Media Day, we're going to talk a little bit about Saban and Coach Harsin. Watch them and kind of go over what they kind of talked about. Now, and Dean's got the Dean's list.
Yeah, the Dean's list. Top 10 quarterbacks in college football coming up.
Yeah.
Preseason.
So,
Sean Kilgrove, how you doing, bro?
What's up, Sean? And, of course, we're going to talk about – Sean's going to come on here and talk with us some more about Oklahoma and Texas, possibility of them coming to the league. Where there's smoke, there's fire. That's what Greg McElroy said. He said it was smoke for about a day or two, and then it's become a fire.
It's fire now.
A&M had a meeting, I think, day before yesterday, so they're already having a meeting with themselves about what's going to happen if this does happen. So see how the new conference will look. We got something kind of laid out here to see kind of what it would look like, maybe, if this happens. And I got a 2022 recruiting class, some guys that has really moved up in the rankings that I'd love to share with you. And we'll mention the NBA Finals and kind of how those games kind of went.
Kind of interesting. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's not really our prime time of the year, but still, we're going to try to keep her going.
Well, we'll start yesterday, Dean. I hope everybody's doing all right, having a good day. And, of course, we always got to thank our sponsors. We got some new sponsors in the work that may be happening. We appreciate them. And, of course, well, let's go over that again. Oh, hit the wrong button. All right, we'll go back over that. Spring Garden, Sandrock finished 3-3, and they wound up losing Spring Garden 7-0. They had a good camp, and all the boys played good. Ace throwed the ball well.
He did.
OP was out there doing his thing like he always does, and Cornejo moved him around some to catch the ball. I mean, he caught a lot of balls out of the backfield last year too.
Yeah, he's going to be a force.
It was really hot, and they were trying to keep him.
Terrible.
They were trying to keep them watered and keep things going. And
they say we're good now. All right, thanks, y'all.
And then Spring Garden, they went to the semis and lost to Hanley, I guess.
So, Hanley, 2020 state champs, 4A champs.
Yeah, lost in the semis to Hanley, and then Hanley wound up beating Moody.
Hanley ended up winning it.
to beat Moody to win it.
I thought Moody looked very good.
I did too.
I thought Moody looked very good. I thought their that receiver, wow, got a good old receiver.
Yeah.
Out there, tall kid. I don't know his name. I'm gonna look him up, but I'm gonna keep up with him.
They had a couple of guys, and they just could climb the ladder and go up there and get the balls.
Yeah.
So the experience yesterday was good. We stopped by and got us a little ice cream cone.
It was good. It hit the spot, didn't it?
Yeah, snow cone. I got the banana, and you got the
pina colada.
Pina colada.
Yeah, I would have took any. I would have took just a straight water.
Yeah, tap water, snow cone, please. We pulled up a tree, cheer under the shade tree over there with some of the spring garden kids, and just kind of cooled off. And they went back out, and we went over and watched them play. Watched Piedmont play while we were cooling down.
Yeah, we watched the Piedmont game.
Man,
Hayes looked good.
Jack's just
he looked good.
I don't know how you get better.
How far did Piedmont go?
I didn't get any feedback over there.
We don't have any audio.
Well, that was a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay. All right, we should have one now, sir.
Jack just gets better and better all the time, getting better. So
yeah, just a junior too.
Yeah,
he's just a junior, so he's got 2 more years left. So we're looking forward to him. I think they're going to be hard to beat. I would go. I'm not going to go on and. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, he says he can. All right, guys, we're having some technical difficulties. We're getting it on. Somebody says we can be heard now. All right,
yeah,
thank you.
That's probably pretty delayed.
Okay,
I'm getting the message back to
delayed.
them. It's working on here. You can see the thing.
Okay, all right, we good.
It's when we went to the sponsors, it cut the mic, and when we come back, it didn't come back on.
But now I would think that Jack Hayes and Piedmont will be very tough to beat this year.
Yeah,
with some of the guys they've got back,
and they've got some new additions to the team also. So I don't see them making a big.
I don't see them dropping off much.
No,
do you?
I mean, it's going to be the same thing. I mean, they're going to be back in there in the playoffs just like last year.
Right.
I mean, they may meet Fife again. That could be another beat.
It could be. They're top 3 team in the state last year, and I expect them to be again this year.
We run into Steve. He was going off one field, come back to another one, and we couldn't just sit and have a conversation with him because I know
he's busy.
Doing a lot of stuff. 14th annual, right?
14th
year.
14th year
that they've done this. So we just stopped and said hi, and glad we got to come over. And he said it's good to see us there, and we try to cover for the kids and stuff. And
always the last week of July.
And we went into Scooter while we was getting a snow cone there, and talked to Scooter for a little while. And Scooter's really humble, and he does a fantastic job over there for Coach Smith.
Yeah, he does.
He does, and I just really enjoyed just talking to him, even if it ain't football.
Oh yeah, Scooter's an interesting guy.
He's just a good guy, and he was humble about their season coming up, and we're pretty sure they'll
be better than he let on.
Yeah. He's
not that he said that he's going to be terrible.
No, he's just being humble. That's what and he does a good job over there. All their coaches do. So. As far as Piedmont putting that on, they do a good job over there with that, and we appreciate and glad that we got to go over and be a part of it.
Very good thing.
If they
I'd never been to it. I'd heard about it for
we didn't get
years.
to go last year because of COVID stuff, and then the year before the summer before we wasn't doing this.
I think they did it last year.
Did they?
I didn't hear. I've always heard something about it, but I've never gone. For one, the heat. I think me and you had talked about maybe going one time.
Yeah.
Me and you always go to Jacksonville when they go to the passing camp down there.
Yeah, usually.
But we wasn't able to this year.
Usually what deterred me from going personally was just Marcus playing football. Wherever he was at camps, that's where I was. And Jonathan always took the boys to Jacksonville, so that's where I was always at.
So a lot of years here, 3 or 4, which we burned up. I remember that year down at Jacksonville when we were just miserable.
Me and Mark Hampton sat over there with us.
Yeah, we sat over there on that. That was horrible. I don't even think we cared if we saw anything that year.
It was hot. I know the boys were burning up.
We sat in the truck with the AC on.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have cared if we went on, but we did. We stuck it out yesterday. We stayed for probably 2.5, 3 hours, didn't we?
Yeah.
3 hours. I think we stayed out there.
I know the boys were hot, so.
Oh gosh.
So we appreciate getting over there. Got to see Bo and Reggie, and it's always good to see him.
Yeah, good to see Bo.
Reggie got him a new camera, and he was playing with it and getting some good pictures. And they got a lot of cool pictures. So if you want to see more, if you're watching us, and you're from Piedmont or something, or the other school stuff. Average Joe, they got Reggie put up a lot of pictures. So if you want to see a lot of stuff, he's got some stuff over there that you're more than welcome to go share and tag yourself. I'm sure Reggie don't care. That's why they do it.
Yeah, they were there. Shannon Fagan, Aniston Starr was there.
Yep, we got to talk to Shannon a while. He's always good to be around. And he was at the part of the end where one of the coaches has kind of got heated about saying he tagged him. He tagged him. Are you blind? Can you not see? I mean,
he tagged him right on the line.
Yeah.
Touchdown line.
And the Aniston Star guy, we run into them.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he does pictures and stuff for the paper over there. So it was a good time. It was hot, but other than that, glad the Lord give us a day without no rain. So
we had a good time.
We could go when it didn't rain.
We wasn't real excited after we got home. We just didn't want to do much the rest of the day.
No, I just come in and straight showered and drank some water and went out for about an hour hard.
Yeah. Good now. That's more good now.
Oh, yeah. Well, Dean, with no, nothing further, we could add to it. And again, we appreciate them, letting us come over and help out. It's good. And it's always good to see other coaches and the kids, and we got to see. But talking about coaches, I'm just wanting to touch on this to get other people's opinion that's watching and stuff, and your opinion. There's not a real head of the league. Like you have Roger Goodell for the NFL.
Right.
So what I'm laying this out as in line to is the NCAA needs a face for the league to have somebody to kind of run it.
Yes, I would agree with that.
I'm not being a homer. I know we're Alabama fans, but I'm getting to Nick Saban. Watching his media days, he don't get the same questions, Dean.
Right.
They'll ask him, maybe if he got 6 questions, maybe 2, maybe 3. 2, maybe 3 were about the players, the 2-0 to Tao kid.
Yeah, from Tennessee.
Coming, how he was.
Pronounce his name either. Tao, I think.
How he's panning out, and what a great addition. Nick, of course, brags on him, and they had actually scouted him. But the other questions that he always gets are, how did he feel about a coach's to be fired if they did not take the COVID shot,
Gosh.
And he had a response for that, great answer. He answers everything just roundabout. It's just kind of it's people's choice. I mean, what they want to be. He said
pretty level-headed.
He said it depends on your situation. This situation calls for this, and you think you need it, then you do. If you're around a lot of the players like I was, I think I needed to take it personally.
Right.
And then they ask him about this NIL stuff, and he talked about that a while. But what I'm getting at is, I think he just don't get the normal questions,
right?
Because none of the coaches, Beamer, South Carolina, young coach, Harrison from Auburn, Jimbo, and Smart, none of them get the same questions he does. And I've kind of noticed it more this year and last year how it's just real prevalent. So, do you guys see that, or y'all agree with it, or if
he's just kind of. What are you going to ask him? I mean, how many championships has he won now?
Yeah, 6.
6 or 7.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't even know. It's getting so I don't even know.
5 at Bama, and then
it's just not the normal. You can't ask him, "Hey, is this the year?" Like you are Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
You're going to come to Kirby Smart. Is this it, Kirby?
Yeah.
How good? They already know the answers.
As long as he's coaching there, they're going to be good.
Answers. Yeah, and I just don't think there's a lot to ask him.
He just has a good presence about how he handles the situations and things that he talked about last year about the transfer portal. He said, you're going to run into some problems with this. This kind of stuff is going to happen.
Yeah, and it is.
And it
is becoming a problem, yeah.
So he kind of foresees stuff. And I think his age and him being the old guy on the block.
He is 70.
Yeah. So
69, 70.
And he has coached in the NFL 2 different times. So he does have a lot of insight. So, if anybody's going to be the president of the NCAA, which I think they need one, Nick Saban should be your guy. I don't know why.
Right. You're talking about over the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
there needs to be a face.
Over the college football.
Yeah.
Right. I would agree with that.
There needs to be somebody.
I could get on board with that.
Somebody needs to do it.
Right.
Roger Goodell catches it for the NFL. And
now I've heard talk, that they need
the NCAA is just
somebody over the whole committee.
It is. It's a joke. Kids get away with schools. I'm sorry, not kids, they're kids, and kids are foolish, and the coaches are there to help guide them in these situations, and they get away with just about anything. Right. The schools kind of police their own stuff, which they can't. It's just hard to.
See, yes, I see what you're saying. You're saying,
well, man, you have trouble?
Yeah, slightly. I've got a virus. Not real. I got a virus on my phone.
Sorry, guys. Cut.
Yeah, cut. We'll get that vaccine in here.
We need some kind of face for the NCAA because it's just been a big joke.
Well, if you're going to have one, if you were going to create a committee right now and put somebody over it, and this is going to be who sanctions it, I mean, I would think he would have to be your guy, him or him. I mean, who else?
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably got the longest tenure right now. He's obviously the winningest coach in the game right now. So yeah, and he seems very smart and down to earth and balanced about it too.
Yeah.
You know. So, I could get on board with that, and I do think they need to go in that direction.
They need to do something
instead of having conference. You know, like Sankey's over the Southeastern Conference.
Yeah.
There's somebody over the Big 12. You're saying they need somebody over it all.
Yeah.
Then their decision. That's it. Like Roger Goodell does.
Right. So now, with that being said, we'll move into this, and then what we kind of want to talk to Sean about, and everybody can please chime in and talk about it. Oklahoma and Texas coming to the league. Everybody's first thoughts and opinions.
Hold up. Tom Osborne. Yes, that would be a very good one, too.
Okay.
Very good. He's just getting a little older, but now Tom is...
Well...
I think he's about 86 or 87 years old.
That'd be the only problem. He's too old.
Yeah.
And two, maybe him being out of coaching so long. I mean, Tom Osborne's great. I'm not disagreeing.
No, I do agree with Sean. Had it been a few years, 20 years ago, yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yes, he's definite choice.
Tom may be
maybe 10 years ago.
Tom may be too out of touch.
Yeah.
What's going on with the game? And while Nick's actually coaching right now, and he has a feel for this NIL stuff and the COVID stuff that's been going on, he would be a good one.
84, 84, 85.
So the Texas-Oklahoma thing.
Yeah.
I mean, what do y'all think about that? Now, it will add...
tell us how this is going to line up if this happens.
It will add something else to it. Let me make sure we're still talking.
I'll give you my opinion.
Okay, the mic's still on. Now, that's the pictures I put up there. This is just kind of a rough guesstimate that I picked up from, I think 24/7 Sports put it up. Mm-hmm. That's the West and the East, kind of how this will shake out. And my idea is this. What if the deal, supposedly this has been going on for a while. So how did it stay quiet for 6 months and not get talked about? And two, is it going to be a deal where it's either Oklahoma has to come and Texas is part of that package? Have they worked that out? Like Oklahoma saying, well, if they don't come with us,
so if it's going to be a dual package.
Yeah.
If one of them don't, neither one of them.
Yeah. Then what? What if just one comes?
Well, what do you? Which I know you and Sean's going to talk about it here in a minute. But what do you?
Yeah, y'all.
I mean, look, you got Oklahoma, Texas, A&M, LSU, Ole Miss, all them on the same
LSU,
side.
Arkansas, Missouri. On the East, you got Bama's going to play Georgia and Florida every year in the regular season.
I just got to be honest with you. I think it just makes the competition very, very tough.
And maybe there could be – that may not be how it is. This is just an educated guess.
Yeah.
I'm curious to how things do change over time. In 1995, the Southwest Conference died and became the Big 12. Houston was a Power 5 team back then. TCU, SMU, Rice, A&M, Arkansas. Is the state of Texas, are they losing ground? I mean, what's going on in the state of Texas?
I don't know. That'll be 2 teams they have in the SEC now. The Big 12 will still consist of Texas Tech, Baylor, and Texas and TCU.
What do you think, Sean? I mean, Sean keeps up with Texas ball a little more. He stayed out there and
yeah. Sean, what's your opinion on this? Do you like Texas and Oklahoma coming in the SEC? And
if so, what's the goods and bads of it? I mean, what do y'all think? Because we know why they're coming.
Now, I'll say I'm not for it because I think it makes the conference just a tad too tough. But that's just my opinion. What's your opinion on it?
I think it brings competition to the league to where if you win the SEC, I mean, you're legitimate anyway, but, man, you're really going to be legitimate. I mean, Texas has not been a powerhouse in 20 years anyway, 10 years, since, Mack and them played Saban, 10. So
Right.
11 years, almost 12. So it's been a while. They hadn't.
We'll see how they are. And could Sark being there have anything to do with this?
Now, that's what I was going to get to. I personally think that
coming from the conference
before he ever decided to come, I would say they offered him a job probably first of last year, and he said, well, let me get through the year and see what happens because of this COVID stuff. And then they probably got to talking, and I would assume that Nick Saban's opinion was asked, like, well, hey, the AD out there for the Big 12, what do you think about, if Sark comes out here, he's going to join the SEC, and we'll bring Oklahoma with us. You think? And they're like, well, you think Lincoln would go for that? And then they go to him, and
he would go for it.
And he's like, absolutely, I would, because you know how much more money they're going to make? Millions.
Oh, I know. But my gosh,
Millions.
Look how much of that. All right, we got a response from Mr. Kilgrove. He's one of our insiders. He says he does not like it, and I'm going to have to agree with him and lean to him. He says he thinks the SEC is trying to build a super conference, and there'll be more to come, which we've always heard it's going to go to four super conferences in the 4 winners.
We talked about this years ago.
Nico Macarath says this is supposed to happen this next season. It probably wouldn't be this next. Obviously, it won't be in 21. Would it even be in 22?
Yeah. The way they're talking, they can dump this contract, Nico. From what Heather Dinage, from what they're saying in Feinbaum, yes, they're supposed to know something this week. Now, they could do it as quick as this season. They could add them in, but I don't know where they could add them because the schedule's already made.
Right.
So they would be added, but they would continue to play this year's schedule, and they would be added next year.
Well, I mean,
but on the legal side of that, Nico, I'll say this: legally, it's reported that Texas and Oklahoma are under contract till 2025. But when those kind of things are made, they're made to be broken.
Right.
They could get out of it.
Yeah, easily.
So if this thing works out next week, then you could see next year Alabama and Oklahoma lining up in week 4.
Well, I just think, you're playing Georgia every year. You already play Auburn every year. Then you got to play Tennessee, Georgia, Florida. Georgia and Florida is usually pretty good.
Let's see.
It's just a tough.
Alabama, Oklahoma play for the SEC
deal.
championship game.
It could be. Yeah, I believe it'd be hard to win the East. I don't know. That me being an Alabama fan, I think it would be a lot harder.
Now, I like it.
Of course, it'd be harder on everybody.
Yeah, I like it because
you play everybody on your side, right?
I like it because it makes the competition tougher. If you really want to find out how good you are, well, we're going to throw 2 more bears in the ring. One small bear, one baby bear.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion. I like the competition. I'm gonna enjoy sitting down and watching Alabama playing Florida and Georgia in a regular season.
One thing I will like about it, and I'm sure I've said it too, but we can get to quit hearing they can't compete in the SEC talk. I go on and guarantee y'all guys that
Vanderbilt,
Oklahoma and Texas can compete in the SEC fine.
Yeah, it's more spread out now. Is Alabama? Who they're playing, their only competition really has been in the past years is LSU. So let's look at this right here. We're looking at it now. They're going to be in competition with Georgia and Florida, which are the more power teams. Now Auburn is going to come around. Kentucky's going to be good this year. South Carolina's building. They got a new coach, Coach Beamer's son, Frank's younger son's coaching out there. And Tennessee, we keep thinking, but one day they're going to put it all together.
Nico says that A&M is not happy about it.
No,
I don't know that they're going to get a big push for this. It seems like, in some of you other guys' answers, we've already talked to Mr. Kilgrove. He said he didn't agree with it. Nico doesn't seem like he's a big fan of it. I don't think Matt's kind of divided on it, right?
Well, I like the competition. I want to sit down and see Alabama and Georgia.
Oh, well, now, as far as watching it, oh, gosh, it'd be great. Now,
that's what I want to say as a fan of the game.
As a viewer, yes, I think it's amazing.
A regular season, you're going to see Alabama and play Georgia and Florida? Why not?
Yeah. Alabama and Georgia every year.
And they're not going to lose that LSU rival. I'm sure they'll add them.
Well, I mean, yeah, as a guy watching ball games, yes, I like it. But as a realist, looking at how tough the conference is, and I guess having sympathy for the players, no, I don't.
But
I don't care for it.
If you win this,
No, you're good. Yeah.
there will be no more doubt.
No.
I mean, there's not anyway most of the time. But this other side with Arkansas and A&M's contender, but with Arkansas and Missouri, and Mississippi State, I don't know what they're going to do. Maybe they'll have something happen this year. But it seems like it's been a little easier for Bama.
Mm-hmm. Right.
This will change things.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
You're going to add a regular Georgia-Florida game, not every other
year.
3 years.
Georgia,
or so.
Auburn, Florida. You know the rivalry Auburn is. Now you got Georgia and Florida every year.
Yep.
And not to mention, I mean, come on, Kentucky and Tennessee and South Carolina and Vandy.
Yeah. Vandy's an okay.
They may be good. Now Vandy's not usually not been or hadn't been in a while, but they could be.
Kentucky and Auburn they're going to be on those times where they'll have some good years.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens when you got a good Auburn and Kentucky, and you got to play Florida and Georgia?
I can't imagine anybody on that west side being for this. And really, to be honest with you, as far as coaches and players, I wouldn't think they would be very excited.
Well, A&M
about
don't.
it.
I mean, they don't like it because they left. The old, what was it, Southwest Conference?
Right. Nico's talking about it hurting the smaller schools again.
Well, sure. That's what this is all going to. You're right, Nico. Because eventually, what we talked about.
And what's going to happen to Rice and Baylor and TCU and all them?
Yeah.
I mean, what's
Texas
going to
Tech.
happen to Texas Tech.
They put out a comment that, we're.
Oklahoma State, Iowa State.
Yeah. They said, we're the heart of this league, and we're going to ride this out, and we're not going to leave. You can count us not leaving. Now, I'll bet you $1. If the Pac-12 comes calling Texas Tech and drops a bunch of money, they're gone. So all them ADs can stand up here and talk all they want to. But when that check is wrote, because that's what this is about, it's about money. Mm-hmm. Because the SEC profited $8 million more than they did.
Right.
So Texas and Sark's like, well, if I come out here, here's the deal.
Well, I agree that money talks, but
if I can get Coach Riley to come with me and Sark, if I take this job, Riley's coming with me, and we'll come back to the conference. And Nick is like, yeah, I'm sure he's for it because it's going to make his conference better. Because he's the president of the ACC. He might as well be the president of the NCAA, what we were talking about a while ago. It's more money.
Yeah, but my gosh, how much money's enough?
You imagine, but that's what makes the world go round. You imagine selling out an Atlanta SEC title game and Alabama plays Texas.
Oh, I know.
It's a sellout. I mean, it's going to sell out anyway, but it's not going to be as interesting if Alabama plays Missouri.
So you're saying the money, it don't matter. They're just going to keep going for more and more and more.
Well, eventually, there'll be a 4-team. I put it on the page. If somebody wants to go back and look at it, I put it on the page there, and it cuts the country into 4 pieces and shows. I drew up a map of 4 superpowers. I think me and you and Sean sat in my living room when I lived in Cedar Bluff and talked about this.
I can't imagine.
I'm pretty sure that we did. I remember us all sitting at the
map
table.
one out again.
And we done that. Like, well, let's do it into 4 because they're going to have playoffs, so let's just have 4. And I think we all did it. I'm pretty sure we did. I remember doing that.
Well, how does this exist with this 12-team playoff?
Well, that's what they're getting ready for. Because in the next 3 years, this 12-team playoff, it's going to come whether we like it or not.
Yeah, I think it's coming. Definitely.
More money.
This may not, but that is.
Bigger playoffs. This is going to be part of that. So when this, I think, is going to happen. And when it does, look for other teams starting to scramble. Because there's 63 teams. There has to be 64. And there's one team left out, and that's Notre Dame.
Well, Notre Dame,
they're independent.
When they go into a conference, at one time they'll have to. They'll just go to I would think the Big Ten.
They play with the ACC.
They play with the ACC, but they're not in the ACC.
Yeah, they have been competing with them with like basketball, women's volleyball, swim teams. And people ask, here's a good question before somebody asks it. Well, why don't BYU? Where are they? Because, they're not either. Well,
they'll get in the Pac-12.
They can't because they're not a Tier 1 school.
Okay.
And neither is TCU, and neither is SMU or Rice or Baylor.
Right.
Baylor's supposed to be a Tier 1 school in 2 years, in 2023. Okay.
So that's why.
Yes. And so when all this starts changing, guys, that's why you need to hit that subscribe button. because I'm telling you, we're breaking news here. When all this changes and they become 4 power teams, 4 power conferences, there's going to be a playoff. Well, if you get 3 teams from each, because 4 power conferences with a 12 team is 4 and the 12 is...
Be like the Olympics in there. Top 3 move on.
Yes.
Yeah.
You getting it? So I'm stepping in. This is what they're doing. And in the next 5 years, college football is going to be more like pro football. We're talking about big money. Now you have NILs. So the players are making money. So they're not leaving now early. Hey, why does Tommy Tuto?
Well, I agree with that. Hey, Tuto, I take that personal.
Why is he leaving to go pro?
Yeah.
He wants to get paid by his mama house, or he's in debt, or Trent Richardson's mama was on some kind of health stuff, and she had a bunch of health bills, so he wanted to get pro. Now, with this, you're going to have kids staying in school longer, and now they're going to play more games, and now they did this name, image, likeness to get them money, Dean. So when they go to this 12-team playoff,
they'll actually play.
You're going to have to add a game, right, or 2.
Right.
Remember, we broke that down a few weeks ago. Well, instead of the kids going, man, I ain't playing another game. They don't pay me nothing now. Now they're saying, well, wait a minute. We give you an opportunity to make money on your name or your image or likeness. Yeah. So you are going to play that extra game in the playoffs, aren't you? And they're going to nod their heads. So college football in the next 5 years is going to be more like pro football.
I don't know.
I'm not excited about it.
I'm not really either.
But it is what it is.
It's going to happen.
And Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, I'll be watching game day.
Well,
when it comes on, I'm going to see Herb Street and Dez, and they're going to be at the desk, and they're going to talk what the game is, and I'll still be watching. I may be complaining, and I'll tell people, man, they're so full of crap, and they're just all money hungry.
But you're going to watch it the next Saturday, too.
Yeah.
The 12-team playoffs coming, but this may fall through, right?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
I think this is going to happen. I think it's going to start happening more. I think you're going to see more teams moving
in,
making bigger conferences.
Well, that's going to be interesting. I'd like to sit down and kind of map out who will go where. So you're saying BYU and TCU and them can't get in these power?
Well, because they're not a Tier 1 school, and you know what that means. They don't have you're just accredited. They don't have a science math division.
Right.
You have to be accredited, and you can look it up, guys, and see what Tier 1 means. And,
see, I'm familiar with that, so I can't argue against it or for it.
You have to you have to be a research institution.
Okay, and they're not. And BYU, TCU, Rice,
a lot of Baylor, and BYU, like you said. See, they're Mormon school.
Right, they're Mormon.
So they're private. So. The Pac-12 is like we're
for football purposes. Can they not slide them in the Pac-12?
No, because that's more money. Because then you got to pay money to become a Tier 1 school. Okay. Money.
Okay.
It's money. You know, what Nico?
Oh, I'm sorry. He's talking about the. I thought that was the same one. Small market and brand schools already will fall behind with the NIL. Now making power conference will be terrible for college football, in my opinion. But I'll still watch. And that's the main point. We're still all going to watch.
Nick, you're right, Nico. I agree.
We may hate it. We're going to watch it.
It's going to become more like the NFL.
Now, I do know guys that have quit watching college football, but it's not over this. It's because their team's not doing well.
Yes, one or yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they
just kind of give up hope.
Yeah, you go on 5-10 years and they're not, and we went through that too for a while before.
Just not interested in the game anymore.
Brody Mobbs.
What's up, Brody?
Chattooga County native. Starts on the football team and basketball. Brent's boy.
Yeah.
We have some good times, don't we, Brody?
He's a regular watcher.
Oh, yeah, he's a good one.
When I see him at the basketball game over at Gills one night, it's like, hey, y'all coming this weekend? I was surprised that he asked me. He's just, how old is he?
He's 17.
16, 17. I'm like, yeah. He's like, I watch all the time. Brent said he watches all the time.
Oregon in the SEC next year. He's kidding. I wouldn't mind. That'd be a lot of traveling. I wouldn't mind it, though. Oregon's got a good football team. And as far as the Pac-12 goes, I will say that they probably are the most mirror.
They act like they don't want to let anybody in. They kind of put out a message.
Yeah.
And then Cowherd, and we'll go through this and we'll move on.
Lord.
Cal Turd come out and said, I agree with him on a lot of stuff. I do. A lot of people don't like him.
I agree with Stephen A. on a lot of stuff.
I do. But this, he said, he don't see Texas. He said, he never said Oklahoma. He said, I don't see Texas as an SEC school. They're more pristine, more prominent, more polished with the cowboy hats, and they're thinking they should go to the Pac-12. And I'm thinking, people left California during this pandemic because of the rules and the regulations. They couldn't play football. Mm-hmm. They came to Texas. Joe Rogan moved his podcast because his property tax and all the regulations they put on them, they left California and come to Texas because of liberal ideas of the way the state's run. So I do not see at all gun-toting cowboy hat people going to Texas.
Well, Cowherd's always talking. He just wants to live where it's nice.
I don't understand his point on that at all.
I heard him talk about how awful it would be to live in Denver. Why would it be awful to live in Denver?
That's just his opinion.
I mean,
but
I don't like him. But go ahead.
He made it out to be like Texas coming to the SEC is like.
That's just a no-no.
You know, he said we're like Alabama, Auburn, Georgia. We're kind of like scummy. Dude, I was like, do you realize? I wish I could call in and say, do you realize who's won over the past 20 years? Who's won the majority of these titles?
He's
it's the SEC. What are you talking about? We're scummy.
Right.
Like, well, they pay their players. Like, who don't?
Yeah, really.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So I didn't really care for his comments.
Look at that cat. That's a great shot. All right. Well, yeah, I'm not a big Cowherd fan, but I do agree with some of the stuff he says and Stephen A. Except for the Aaron Rodgers. He takes up for Aaron Rodgers. I don't really understand that, but that's a whole new thing.
Let's move on into the next transition spot.
All right. What we got?
This is going to be great. 1, 2 right here.
We got the Dean's List.
Man, you just got to wait before you can see it.
Oh, the Dean's List. Top 10 quarterbacks.
Well, there's your list, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these are some that Dean's going to break down for us. And, again, we appreciate everybody taking some time out of your day to listen to us jackwagons.
Yes, sir.
Talk about football. And we're very appreciative of our sponsors, Warrior Gym, J.R. and April McKenzie, Scott Lloyd, and Kevin, Lawn Landscaping, and Warrior Gym as always. So we'll just break through the middle of that, and we'll move into
the Dean's List. Top 10 quarterbacks. All right, we're going to start at number 10. Now, this is not my list. Me and Matt, and he can also move up or move people down. Number 10 on this list we found is DJ Uiagalelei, which will be Clemson's quarterback. Do you like Uiagalelei?
Yeah, he's not he's not really refined enough for me yet. I'm not sure. I'm not sold on him to see.
But him being the 10th best quarterback, do you buy that? I'm going to move him up to 6. I mean, he's Clemson's quarterback, and he did fill in good last year. So he is, I'm moving him from 10 to 6 on my list. Number 9 on this list is Kedon Slovis, USC's quarterback. Did you see him play any?
No, I don't know much about him.
I don't know. Threw for 1,900 yards. Number 8 on this list is Michael Penix from Indiana. And I like Penix, and I know you like Penix.
Well, yes, I'm very high on him. I'm trying to get this to work, and it's just not.
What's going on?
My little app on here. I'm trying to click on what you got there.
Okay.
It don't want to.
Well, I got Penix moved up from 8 to 7. He threw for 1,600 yards, and he actually makes Indiana very I think he makes them relevant, don't you?
Yes, I do.
I do. I like Michael Penix Jr. He's my number 7 on this list, and he's 8th. He's my number 7. He's 8th on this list. All right, number 7 is Carson Strong from Nevada. 5,000 passing yards in his career. I've never saw him play. I don't know much about Nevada. Does anybody know anything about Nevada?
Yeah, I was going to say, there it goes. Finally got it to load there.
You got it there.
Michael Penix.
Yeah, I moved him from 8 to 7. They got him 8th as quarterback. I think
I'd probably put him at 5. I'm high on him. He was 124 for 220.
Yeah, I think he's a good quarterback. Like I said, he made Indiana relevant.
1,600 passing yards, 14 touchdowns. And
when they beat Penn State last year, I think they're
Carson Strong, the guy you just mentioned, 2,800 yards passing, 27 touchdowns, 4 picks.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a little bit on him. Average 300 yards a game.
That's pretty good. So, now listen, these
we don't watch them. I mean, we
have no idea. They play late at night. We're done by then. Number 6 on this list is Malik Willis from Liberty, where Tyron Dupree plays. Listen to this: 2,300 yards passing, 900 rushing last year.
20 touchdowns with 6 picks. Yeah, 14 touchdowns. I mean,
that's pretty good. I actually moved him to 8th because Liberty does play a tough schedule, but they don't play the kind of schedule that a Michael Penix plays against. Would you agree?
Yes, no, they just don't. I mean, but if you want to get out and get on something, this is a guy to get ahead on. If you guys want to pick a quarterback besides some of these guys on the screen here, Brock Purdy and Penix and Sam Howell, this guy at Liberty right here with us was a transfer from Auburn, and despite the roundabout college career in this date, he has potential. He's a high first-round draft pick for next year's draft. So
now 5, we got a tie. I got a tie on here, and this list I had didn't have Purdy on there, but I went on and put him on there. Is Brock Purdy from Iowa State, who me and Matt have already predicted are going to be very good.
Yep.
Don't you think?
I do.
They come down between them and Oklahoma. And Desmond Ridder for Cincinnati, 8,700 career yards. Hey, let's give it to him. Cincinnati's good. Do you not agree?
Yeah, they're always. I mean, they make good bowl games. They beat Georgia 1 year. Desmond Ridder has earned his spot with a legacy tenure, excellent ability as a runner, and steady throwing progress.
Man, 8,700 yards in his career. That's a lot of experience coming back. So I got him and Purdy tied for 5th. 4th is a Derek King, Miami. Used to play for Houston.
Yep.
How many years has he played? He got that extra year, right?
Yes, he did.
Okay, he's got 9,500 yards in his career.
He'll definitely be a Heisman conversationalist. He'll be in that talk.
I would think.
So
he's a very good quarterback, but now him and Trask played at the same high school.
Yes, he was. Who was the backup?
Trask was the backup.
Trask was the backup. Yeah.
All right, number 3 is Matt Corral from Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Man, they're high on this guy. What do you guys think about Matt Corral? I know Ole Miss had a high-flying offense. He had 3,800 yards offense, but are you a big Matt Corral fan?
I am.
You think he's the 3rd best quarterback in the country?
He was 63 for 48 in the loss. He threw 365 yards and 2 scores on 21 for 28 passing against Alabama.
How many?
21 for 28.
How many
365.
Yards? Wow, 365. Wow, that's pretty good.
In their loss.
Sean Kilgrove says he loves him. Hey, his numbers don't lie. 3,800 yards.
He had 14 picks. Happened in 2 starts against Arkansas and LSU. But I mean,
yeah. Now he threw a lot more.
I like the guy. I think he's good. I'm can't wait to see him.
I heard
play.
Somebody say that, and I'm gonna take up for Bo Nix a little bit here. But somebody posted that Bo Nix had thrown 3 interceptions in the off season. And I got to look, and Nix hadn't thrown many interceptions. The joke would probably be funnier if he was an interceptor thrower.
He had a bad game.
But he don't throw many he threw 7. This guy threw 14.
He threw like 3 against Alabama. But, that was a good Alabama team that he played last year. So, who you got at 2?
Okay, we're at number 2, and I agree with this 100%. Sam Howell, North Carolina. We saw him play against Texas A&M. He is a very good quarterback.
Yeah.
3,600 yards, and that's 2 years in a row he's done that. He's thrown for 7,200 yards in his last 24 ball games.
30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions.
30 touchdowns.
Now, he's probably going to be your number 1 pick coming in next year of the draft.
Yeah, I like it.
We got some of these guys we named are going to be coming out in the draft next year. So, Falcons, if you're listening, please, God, draft a quarterback. Dump Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Matt's been there quite a while, and he's been there quite a while.
Well, now, the thing is with Howell, he lost a lot of his top targets, Damian Brown, Daz Newsome, and the tailbacks Williams and Michael Carter.
They lost both those running backs.
Are all in the NFL now. So, we're really going to see
how good he is.
How good he's really going to be, because losing those targets, but Howell will be considered a surefire franchise
and
guy.
Number 1, Bryce Young. No, I'm kidding.
Please don't do that. I would lose it.
We would be homers, wouldn't we? Spencer Rattler, Oklahoma.
Yeah, he's proven himself last year.
I think so.
3,000 yards.
I could honestly see Howell maybe being ranked ahead of him, but with Rattler's yards, 3,000 yards passing, and his potential, I'd say he's definitely the top quarterback in the country.
Well, following in those footsteps of Baker and Kyler, both Heisman's, right? He's going to fill in those shoes, but they rallied behind Rattler and won 8 straight games, won the Big 12 title, and demolished Florida in the Cotton Bowl. Rattler's the front runner to win the Heisman Trophy this year. Could best to play for against Howell as the number 1 guy going in for next year to the draft. So
right. I don't think they got that wrong. Purdy. Now, did you have any problem with this list at all? Only people I see not on it. I mean, I don't think Bo Nix. This is some honorable mentions. J.T. Daniels, Bo Nix, Connor Baldazac. That's just some honorable mention people. Do you agree with? Do you think anybody got left off this list that should be on it?
No, I like the this little trio I put together here. Your list, this little trio right here is good. I like them. I think they're.
I think Missouri has a very good quarterback. Connor Baldazac is supposed to be very good. Daniels has done good, but Daniels has only played in 4 games, so I really put him on this list. And Bryce Young hasn't played in a game. I mean, not as a starter.
Yeah.
So, what's that say? Oh, okay.
I was trying to get the.
So that's your top 10 quarterbacks. Spencer Rattler 1, Howell 2, Matt Corral 3, or Coral. I don't know how you pronounce that. What's wrong?
I don't know. It's stuck on.
Oh.
I think it's just your phone.
Okay.
But Ugalay, you asked me that to begin with, and
I agree with him.
I quick answered because he's just not really, proven to me. 78 for 117, 914 passing yards, 9 total touchdowns. That's not very worthy of, what I'm saying.
Sean says it doesn't matter, Todd. I know that. I understand that, Sean, but this is preseason. We can't put him.
Who?
I guess he's talking about Young.
Bryce? Oh yeah, no. He's not even throw the football in college.
We just can't. We can't. This is not our list. This is.
We just kind of rearranged it a little bit.
We just rearranged it.
It's from Sports Naut.
Now, that one list did put Young as the 3rd best quarterback in the
conference.
In the conference, yes.
And I don't know how you can.
Daniels and Coral being 1 and 2.
I hope he proves me wrong. See, I was never a big Tua guy either. When Tua came in, and everybody was super big on him, he made this, big. He got sacked. He makes the big play to Devontae and wins Alabama another title against Georgia. I was never. I like Tua. I think he's a great kid. So when I say this, I'm not meaning personally because I don't know him personally. Seems like a great character guy, a man of God, and that's great. Comes from a good family.
Right.
I'm just not really high on him. I really like Mac Jones. I think Mac proved that he could have played.
Right.
When Jalen and Tua was there, Mac was good.
He said Athlon's got him as the 6th best.
It's just my.
I understand, but this is just returners,
and it's just our opinions. I mean, this is one, and I just don't. I'm not a Bryce Young guy, and I hope he proves me wrong.
I think he'll be great. I do.
I was AJ McCarron. I think he's one of the best to come through Alabama that I ever watched play.
And I think that, I think Bryce Young will have a very good year. I think JT Daniels, Nix, but I definitely don't disagree with the top 3 coming back from returning with their stats from last year.
Yeah, you just can't put Bryce up there. He's not even.
Well, I can't yet. No.
He hadn't thrown the ball in a real life. Well, last year he come in on mop-up duty.
Well, they do got Ugalay in here.
Yeah.
But now Young is a honorable mention along with Balzac, Nix, JT Daniels. That's some other quarterbacks that I guess that'd be your top 15.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be your top 15.
This was the part with the 2022 recruiting list. The kids has kind of moved up, and these are just some guys that I've picked up on. And this is just some stuff for you guys that really like to keep up with who are juniors in the class, seniors. This is going to be graduating next year, and y'all can kind of see who I've just a few of these I picked up off the top. Andre Green, wide receiver, is from Virginia. He's probably going to be going to Georgia, North Carolina, Clemson, or Notre Dame. He moved from 215 up to 108. Isaiah Bond, a wide receiver. He's from Buford, Georgia, and we've seen them play.
They got some athletes.
Yeah, I watched them in the finals on the NFHS network one night, or in a semi game. I'm sure he was one of them I was watching last year.
Well, they don't have. I don't think they have too many two-way players. So Buford's like a small college.
He's probably going to Florida, which it assumes. He won the Georgia 6A 100-meter winner and won a state title at Buford also. He moved from 237 up to 149. Bobby Taylor, wide receiver from Kyle, Texas. He's probably going to be going to AM. He played at Katy High School, which is a real prominent school out there in Texas. They won state in 2020, finished in the semi for 2019. He moved from 214 to 150. Keon Grays, another wide receiver. He's from Arizona. He's probably going to Ohio State. He's a track star guy, run the 100-meter star. He moved from 111th to 47. That's a big jump.
That is 64 spots.
Quincy Wiggins, a defensive lineman from Louisiana, 6'6", 275. They said he runs like a 5'5", 5'4", 40.
Basketball, too.
And he plays basketball. He's hard on LSU right now. He's Bama, Florida. He's kind of warm. He went from being non-ranked to 99. And his name's Quincy Wiggins from Louisiana.
So non-ranked to 99? Woo.
Go look him up. Y'all can go to 24/7 Sports, type in Quincy Wiggins, Louisiana. He'll come up. Check out some videos. He's good. Evan Stewart's the last one, wide receiver from Fresno, Texas. He's looking at Florida, Bama, Texas. He's another track guy, the triple jump, and he run the anchor relay, finished with gold medal in the 400-meter. He moved from 37th spot up to the 9th spot.
Wow. 37 to 9.
Wow.
And where any of these talking about? I just don't see a guy from LSU, Louisiana. But more than likely, he's probably going to
He's hard LSU, but Bama and Bama and Florida are on his list. The Evan Stewart guy from Texas, he's not picked. He's Florida, Bama, Texas. So, and that's another thing with that realignment. If Texas joins the SEC, they're going to get more players because now you're playing in the best conference.
Right.
So you're going to get more exposure. If you're playing in the best conference, you're going to play against the best players. So they're going to want to come to play. And that's why A&M don't want them, because then they're going to have to share recruits. They want to say, we're the only SEC team in the state. Why would you want to go to Texas when you can come here and be part of the place where we own it? We're the best. Well, now the Texans say, we are too. And so can Oklahoma.
Right.
They're fighting over recruits.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we'll finish out with the NBA Finals.
Let me see another comment on here.
Yeah, go back on there. The Suns won the first two games, 118 to 105 and 118 to 108. Looked like.
Yeah, it looked like they were just going to dominate.
Yeah, I watched a little first game. And I thought, man, this ain't going to be good. Giannis is not playing real good.
No, he wasn't.
Well, game 3, they score 120. They win 120 to 100 in game 3, and then from then on.
Yeah, they just took it. Man, I tell you what, I was impressed with Giannis. I'm just going to say his first name. I don't say his last name very correctly. So, and him, Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday, they stepped it up. There was a guy named Bobby Portis plays for him. He stepped it up and played real good.
Game 5 was 123 to 119 in the final. We caught the half. We went to Easy Street that night and run into Scott and talked and had a good time and had some drink and some nachos. Well, that nachos was good in that queso.
Yeah, they were. That queso did. It was real good.
105-98 that night. Giannis's average career was 28, 11, and 6. And he was the only guy to score 50 in the finals. Is that right?
Then the actual final game.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't remember. Now, I think that the other guys that had scored 50 in the series.
Yeah.
But I don't recall anybody, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, ever scoring 50 in the last game.
So, to win it, to top it, so it was been how many?
That may be wrong.
37?
But I don't remember.
47 years? 37?
Since they won it?
Lou Alcindor.
50.
57? Or 40,
no, 50.
40. It was 50 years?
50 years. 71. Lou Alcindor and Oscar Robertson played with them too.
That's two of the greatest to ever play the game of basketball. They're top 5 for sure. So don't be calling LeBron the greatest, and especially not KD after what we've seen. What Bo calls Stickman. Bo calls him Skeletor.
He's not well alive.
They just lost to France. Green and Booker. They lost first game. Now they lost the preseason games, and everybody's like, "Well, it's just preseason. They're not playing hard."
And they lose the real one. Now I'm not first of all, this is not an anti-LeBron or anti-James Harden. I just think Giannis ought to be the face of the NBA now. I think he's the best player in the NBA. What has he not proven?
Yeah, he's a champion.
What has he not
so
proven?
He's going to get
50 points in the final game.
He's going to get to join that class where, he gets to say, "Hey, I've won a ring." So, and we'll see if CP3 may want to retire and go out to the Lakers and hang out with LeBron and do movies.
Yeah. Well, I hate that for Chris Paul. I kind of want him to win.
Yeah,
And I like Devin Booker too, but I caught myself pulling for Milwaukee in this. So, and that's, well, congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah, they got her done.
Couple other things.
Yeah, drop it in on us.
Gillsville, Camp Hamby this week.
Yeah.
Be there today and tomorrow. Now, I think they'll take off in the morning and practice, and obviously they're not going to practice all day. It just ain't like the Junction Boys.
Well, they might. Now, Coach Knapp runs a tight camp over there.
Coach Knapp, you're not going to do them like that, are you? But I'm sure they'll practice 2 or 3 times that day, and maybe 2 or 3 times next. Go Monday and Tuesday. So that's Camp Hamby in Somerville, and they'll get started that next Monday. And I want to recognize a Chattooga County native, Brody Malone.
Brody Malone
from Tryon, Georgia.
What is he doing in the?
He is a gymnast. Got his training at Georgia Elite, Menlo, some of his training. Then went to Cartersville and went to Stanford. And somebody told me today, he said this guy really flew under the radar. Nobody even knew he was training. Nobody even knew it. He was like a bull rider. And he played on Tryon's football team. And nobody
he shows up in the Olympics.
Well, he trains on the side with some Cartersville team, and they go and compete. And he just kept it hush-hush. Then he goes to Stanford and wins the national championship.
Wow. Well, that's be very athletic.
Then he made the Olympics.
Jumping and that kind of stuff, flipping.
And I watched him today.
To ride a bull, you got to be good at that.
And I watched him yesterday, and they pretty much said they counted off a few points, and the broadcasters were like, we can't figure out why they counted off anything.
Thank you guys from Spotify
and
Google Cast for tuning in. We'll catch y'all next week. All right, Big Matt Diamond Dean out.
But he's got a great chance to win this. He's got a great chance to win this gold. And, that's 30 miles from 35 from the house. It's big.
It is, yeah, to be a part of a world known. It's the Olympics.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not just making a team.
Yeah. There comes
Jack.
He's right on time.
Are you done?
Just about. We're still alive. Well, let's see. We went through the Piedmont camp stuff and the Texas Oklahoma thing. Had a lot of feedback on that, and some stuff with Saban and the coaches' media days, and had a look into some 2022 recruits, guys moving up on the list, and of course the Dean's list. These quarterbacks coming back. I like the list. I think.
Yeah, it's a good list.
These guys are going to be something to watch for. Howell and Purdy,
and we'll come back at
and Rattler.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on them guys.
And I agree with Mr. Kilgrove. Said that Young he thought would be up there at the top. I do agree with that. We'll just come back at the end of the year and see how everybody did. There's always some young quarterback or returning quarterback that doesn't do as well as they were supposed to.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about guys that they'll have a great junior year, great sophomore year, then they may have a bad senior year. It happens a lot.
It may be Howell because of losing all his targets.
It could be Howell.
So
it'll be one of them.
If he losing his targets, just notice that's why that we told you beforehand that if he flops a little, that's why.
Yeah,
he lost all his targets.
He lost both running backs.
I don't like how the ball comes off of Bryce's hands very fast, but he's so small. The offensive coordinator O'Brien's really going to have to be very good at his play calling because he's going to have to open lanes like with Drew Brees to throw the ball through. And with him being young and inexperienced, playing at a high level, if I'm worried that he's going to try to catch a rabbit too quick and try to run the ball instead of keeping his eyes downfield and working.
He's got a lot of pressure on him.
And with the targets that he lost, the people he's going to throw to.
Man, he did know some good targets.
Okay, Michie is going to be the guy to deal with this year. I really like him. So
him and Billingsley.
And they're going to be able to run the ball, but they got some new guys up front, so I'm just not sold on him yet. I don't.
But I do think he'll be great.
I like Paul
hope.
Tyson. In the A-Day game, I like Paul better. He'd smack kept his head down the field better. He moved in the pocket. He'd step up and throw it. And Bryce wants to roll out and run. He looked like Kyler Murray. He's a little small 5'10" guy. And that worries me.
Well, 90% of the time when a player's supposed to be great, they end up being great. And I always felt bad about it, and I hate to bring him up here, but now that Jeremy Johnson for Auburn. They had that guy winning the Heisman.
Yeah. The ball come off his hand fast. He didn't read defenses well. And,
man, he was not the starter after, 5 games. And I always felt so bad for him. And I just it happens. It happens sometimes. And I hope it doesn't happen to anybody this year. But it does. People sometimes don't work out. But 99% of the time they do.
The guy at Indiana, Penix.
Yeah.
So he's coming off ACL. So
Right.
We're high on him.
Yeah, I like Penix.
I think he's going to do good.
Left-handed.
But we're just giving the pros and cons of each guy.
Yeah.
You know, if they do fail, this could probably be why. The guy
I
at
don't
Liberty.
think Rattler's going to fail.
Yeah, I know. If they don't make the semifinal game, then this a fail for them.
I don't think Purdy will fail.
If they don't make the title game, I've already said that. If Oklahoma don't make the title game, it's a failed season.
I don't think who was the. Well, we got a couple minutes. We're not in that, but let's see who else. Ugale, I'm telling you, he's got some big shoes to fill.
I'm an Ugale fan. So.
I think Purdy will be fine. King. I don't know much about Miami.
We'll find out week 1 because he's going to get to play against Alabama.
Coral lost his best receiver.
So but he's got Lane Kiffin up back there.
He does got Lane Kiffin.
And Lane is the goat of offense play calling.
Yeah, right. We're going to find out about O'Brien, which I think he'll be good. I don't know if he'll be as good as Sarkisian. But
Nick said in the media.
He may be better.
In the media days, Nick said, which he ain't going to say, but he kind of led to, we're kind of going to be doing the same stuff that we've been doing. Sort of, kind of. So.
Well, he's obviously good. I mean, he used to be the Texans head coach and was he OC at New England?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. They've done all right.
Yeah. We'll see how it works out.
Great quarterback coach.
Yeah. All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in with us this week. Again, get us up on Spotify. If y'all missed the show, you can go back. I just put it up. It'll be on later YouTube channel, guys. We appreciate y'all. Hit the subscribe, share, like button. I appreciate all the love that we can get. And there'll be some news up on the page through the week.
Yes, sir.
And Etowah Media Days is Tuesday. If anybody wants to get down there and check that out, it'll be very interesting. And we'll see y'all next week. We'll have more stuff next week.
Yeah, get more high school football practice starts next Monday. So.
Yeah, tomorrow in the morning. They have to be there at 8:30. I've seen some coaches post.
Some are starting tomorrow?
Yep.
Okay. You can do the acclimation period. I don't think you can start with official practice. I mean, I'm sure they do. Not technically supposed to the second. So everybody will be starting the second. But now somebody was telling me today that if you didn't do a spring, you could start that week early. And you can acclimate this week. You know, whatever you... I guess that's out there running plays, getting used to the heat, right?
Yeah, and it's going to be hot. So coaches and players watching, y'all drink that water the night before. Like tonight, you better be drinking.
Yeah.
If you're going to be outside working tomorrow, start drinking now.
Yeah, start drinking right now.
Yeah.
You won't hear that much in your life, but you'll hear from us.
Water.
Yeah, start that drinking tonight.
Tonight. Gatorade, all that stuff. The under body armor coconut water one. It's great.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah. Potassium stuff in it. Let's get out of here, Dane. So everybody put the feet up. All right, guys. We appreciate everybody. We love y'all. And we'll catch y'all next week. Peace out.